Mm. Hey, hello, friends. Welcome back to Blue Pig Reviews and Library Book Bar. And what we got today is a pretty common and controversial bottle at one point in time, but also very much coveted by many bourbon enthusiasts. And at one time, this was allocated and hard to find, especially up here in New York. Um, Now you can get this for about $30 up here in New York. $20 some places I've heard. And this is Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace is named after the Buffalo Trace Distillery. And this is their flagship bottle, coming at 90 proof with an undisclosed mash bill that's famously known as Buffalo Trace Mash Bill number one. Um, Buffalo Trace itself comes in at 90 or solid 90 proof. Um, and let's give it a taste and talk about it. Part of the reason that Buffalo Trace is coveted is because it's consistent. Supposedly, its flavors are consistent. Um, Very few people, most people, this is one of the bottles they start with or they aspire to learn what bourbon really tastes like. It has a lot of classic bourbon notes, supposedly. And on top of that, it comes from a distillery that has many legendary bottles from Colonel E.H. Taylor to Stag to all the other bigger name and allocated bourbons that bourbon lovers seek. This is where they begin at. This comes in not only just regular Buffalo Trace, there's a kosher version if you're out looking for it. There are store picks of it. Um, and you kind of can't go wrong with that. It was controversial because, in part, because people found out that the distillery was probably holding back to keep the price high, because once the bourbon bubble bust, this was everywhere. And I know I've sorted out. There are people who probably have several of these bottles in their home because when they found them, they would hold on, collect them, make sure they were on tap. I don't collect anything, so if it comes in the house, it gets opened, hits the bar, it's open. It's open to everybody. As you can see, this bad boy is open. So let's give this bad boy a taste and find out what the story is about. So Buffalo Trace itself, and we'll give it a smell. And let me tell you, that's the classic Buffalo Trace smell. It's sweet, it's caramel, it's fruity. Everything about it smells good. It has a very fruity nose on its own. Um, Even some underlying brown sugar notes, but that fruit bomb is there. Let's give it a taste. And it is. It's sweet, vanilla, caramel, a slight cherry undertone or fruit undertone. You get peppery spice right at the middle, but nothing too aggressive. And on the swallow, you get a little bit of that pepper spice, oak, and that carry through of that vanilla caramel. Nothing offensive. Very sweet, straightforward, um, with enough spice to satisfy someone who loves rye or needs something spicy, but enough sweetness that it's completely approachable to whoever gets it. The hug is mild, even for 90 proof, and the flavor stays with you short to middling, um, but definitely crushable, definitely sessionable, because you could drink this for hours on end and be happy as a bourbon drinker. Cocktailing, it works too. It's a little light for some cocktails. Definitely makes a good old fashioned. I would not probably put this in a Manhattan, but something that has one or two elements or depends mainly on sweetness, this would do it. The caramel flavor is not enough to carry through like some other bourbons, but that sweetness and fruitiness is. So the reason we're revisiting this is because they introduce more and more people to bourbons that they should know and should try. And who's this for? this is for anybody that wants to know what good bourbon tastes like and what an aspirational bourbon flavor should be. For a collector, it's Buffalo Trace. They're collecting, they're holding on to it. For an enthusiast, a good basic bourbon, a good entry point into the Buffalo Traces line. To a new drinker, right? Approachable, good conversation starter with other bourbon lovers. The list goes on. Buffalo Trace, of course, and as basic as 100% Blue Pig approved. Definitely recommended because it tastes good. So I know I'm drinking good. And at that price, it's all good. Cheers a good pouring, and go out and hunt yourself a buffalo. And you won't need a gun, just a good glass. Cheers and good pouring.